welcome in the hardest working man in the business, the multi-talented Ben Lyons joins us from the West Coast this morning. Ben, what's good, my man? Great to see you.
I appreciate the introduction. I'm glad to see the check cleared. Thanks for having me, dude. It's great to see you. You got a nice little hoops in the sun glow about you today.
I try, I'm dressed to impress for you. You're big time, so.
I dressed to impress. This is my Dwayne Wade World Tour t-shirt. Dwayne Wade, my favorite player not to play for the New York Knicks of the last generation. Kind of equate him to my dad's DiMaggio or Spike Lee's Jordan. There's that guy on the team that breaks your heart. And I just love D Wade. So you actually are dressed like D Wade is dressed right now in the south of France or Italy or wherever he is on a boat. But it's my D Wade t-shirt for you there.
And Wade might actually be even a little underrated when you talk about legends.
Yo, D Wade is fantastic. How great would it be to be D Wade post NBA career? Forget the actual hoops. We can break down X's and O's later, but to be on a yacht with Gabby and the team out in Capri, it sounds nice.
Sounds like a good deal. And Ben, in all seriousness, I thought I wore many hats in this business, but you really have cornered the market on the best of entertainment and sports. And I think you need an endorsement deal with Lids.
I don't know. I'm pushing the maximum on Lids. I go in there, I'm like, you got 7 5/8, and they're like, no, haven't seen that one in a while. I appreciate that, man. I am just trying to collect stories, honestly, real talk, that when I'm 90, hopefully I can look back and be like, that was kind of wild. I had a chance to do that. Or remember that time I taught Nicole Richie how to throw a curveball? Like, that was weird. So just trying to have funny stories, and I appreciate you saying that, man.
No, you're always definitely doing really cool stuff. And I think in the sports world, the latest has really been you hosting the Rich Eisen show. So some great stuff there. How has that been?
It was incredible. Honestly, I said it, I think, when I posted that I felt like I won some type of contest, but to be out there with the team for 4 weeks, do a bunch of shows. Rich is a Michigan guy like I am, and I'm a fan of his for a long time. Grew up watching him, of course, on SportsCenter, and couldn't have been nicer and more supportive, and called me up and was like, hey, go do your show. And when Carmelo Anthony went to the Lakers and I became a Laker fan that day live on the show, it was a magical moment for me. So it's super dope when the people that you're fans of in this business, you get a chance to cross paths with them and they're super cool. And it's a reminder that you can have great success without being a maniac. And I really enjoyed my time on it. So yeah, it was fun.
Does Rich have a love for the Wolverines too, or no?
Oh yeah, the whole studio is like a shrine to Harbaugh and Ann Arbor, and it's the scene in Knocked Up where Katherine Heigl, after the earthquake, realizes that the man she's about to have a baby with, Seth Rogen, has a sword and a giant bong and all these weird action figures in the crib, and she's like, this doesn't feel right. All that stuff is now in the Eisen studios, so you see like a Bo Schembechler bust, or you see some Charles Woodson wine. It's like that's the challenge on the show, is when you're having a conversation like this, not to get like lost in, oh, that's Rich's hat from when he was the captain of the Michigan football team, or, it's like a museum in there.
Well, I mean, definitely cool for you guys to connect there. And I think when we start talking about your career, especially in sports, not just entertainment, but really things have run the gamut for you. It's gone from everything from football to golf to basketball. And I believe I know what maybe that main passion is, but I wanted to ask you this morning, what's that number one love for you in terms of sports?
Despite trading a first-round draft pick and Steve Novak for Andrea Bargnani, despite drafting Gerard Mustaf, despite never having re-signed a draft pick since Charlie Ward, my love for the New York Knicks remains my North Star. I don't know what's wrong with me. I believe it's the gift and the curse that my father passed on for me for being New York's longest suffering Red Sox fan, who now has the audacity to say things after they beat the Dodgers. Oh, we should have swept. And my father's a fanatical Red Sox fan, introduced me to sports and provided me with so many of my foundational sports philosophies and memories that I really admired that devotion he had to the Sox, and I saw firsthand when it paid off. And so I believe at one time in my lifetime, I just want one. That's all I need. I'm not LeBron at the press conference 4, 5, 6 champion. I just need one, and it'll be a glorious day. So I have faith. It keeps me going. The Knicks are still my number one passion.
And that's definitely a great segue here in terms of questions, because I know fans have probably seen you in one place or another, but maybe they did not know about your famous dad. What's it like to be the son of a legend in Jeffrey Lyons?
I appreciate it. He'll love hearing that. You just made his day. That's very sweet. I got a chance firsthand to, learn from the best in the business. When I would see my dad, who was a film critic for many years at Channel 11 here in New York and at NBC, and covered Broadway as well. I got to see the grind. I got to see the research. I got to see the process of, consuming art and sharing your thoughts and opinions on it in a respectful way, an articulate way, a way that supported art that sometimes wouldn't get in the conversation. So he's my hero, my best friend. Like, I love him. And it was amazing to see firsthand, to be able to watch a movie with him and say, hey, let's go talk to Jamie Foxx the next day, or Robin Williams, or all these legends. Mentioned Redford. Dad had known him for years, and to go to junkets or interviews when they'd come to NBC firsthand, I was like a sponge. And not just to be focused on him, but just the process of making television. As you know, Chris is on the line here. It's a collaborative effort. There's people, there's the lighting, there's the cameras, there's the crew, there's the control room. It's such a thing, the team sport of making television. And I saw that from my dad as well, not only the beat that he covered, in film and Hollywood and stuff, but just, I'm very fortunate to have been a real fan with real access over the years. He's the smartest, most interesting Dos Equis man I've ever known. So it's cool to call him my dad.
I can't believe Robert Redford is 85. I still think The Natural might be the best baseball movie of all time, maybe even better.
Although when he hits it inside the park home run, I believe he shakes the third base coach's hand, which I sound like my father now pointing out that error in like an otherwise perfect movie. But Redford, I believe, played high school baseball with Don Drysdale as well. And, as founder of the Sundance Film Festival, which holds very special place in my heart. It's an event I've covered 15 plus years now, and talking about that championing of art, seeing stuff early and getting on your soapbox and sharing it. And I'd be remiss without, you asked me a very kind question about my dad, but I feel a very close connection to my grandfather on that side of the family, a guy named Leonard Lyons, who was a columnist for 40 plus years on the beat here in New York for the New York Post, 6 days a week, had a column, The Lion's Den. Never had the privilege of knowing him, but I feel like I do through his 12,000 columns. So when I look at culture today, look at sports, look at politics, look at art, I look at it through the lens of, who would have been in my grandfather's column, or how would my dad have reacted to this movie? So I'm very fortunate to have that lineage.
I know, Ben, you don't really like all the love that I give you with this stuff, but I mean, you really have put together an amazing, impressive resume, and only 39 years old. And I don't know if this is true, but the Wikipedia page says that you're actually a Hall of Famer. You've been inducted into the Southern California Sports Hall of Fame.
I think my dad might be in charge of the Wikipedia. I think that's maybe where that comes from. I don't know. I am in awe of what you do at Hoops in the Sun, man. Honestly, when I see you out there calling these games live, having to react to what's happening. It's hot. There's a crowd. It's loud. People's egos. Like, it's a lot and it's intense. And to see someone so comfortable in that environment is something I try and take to my hustle and my game a little bit as I go about my business. So it was fun to see you in action as well.
And I tried my best, like yourself, to kind of, mix and match and do different things. And that's something that's been, part of my life for a long time. So definitely something I have tried to do here and there, and again, talking about your career, I think back and I remember the launch of the Players Tribune, and I think that's among your many credits in sports. Is there one achievement to date that you feel you are most proud of in the sports world?
It's a collaboration, and while I love my time with the Players Tribune, it's a collaboration with Rock the Vote. This past general election, we launched a campaign called Hooper's Vote. That's going to live on as an NFT series. But the point of the campaign was to really galvanize and engage the basketball community at large to get involved with voting. I've worked with Rock the Vote now, I guess maybe 10 years or so, and have always enjoyed their perspective on how to engage young people and really mobilize them. And we partner with the WNBPA, led by Terry Jackson, who's an incredible voice in the game of basketball, Jaren Jackson's mom, but more importantly, she's the executive director of the WNBA PA, and they're just awesome. And we did this campaign, Hooper's Vote, that really just, through the graphics of Elliot Girard and Heartland Entertainment, just popped and got a lot of love and got people who might have felt on the sidelines, even as we approached, November in 2020, to really get in the mix and have their voices heard. So that is something I'm very proud of, is that connection between sports and culture and getting young people to be engaged in their communities. As a Knicks fan, when they're down 20, 30 games under 500 and they're telling you to vote for Landry Fields for All-Star, you're like, can we vote for the game of life, please? So that was something I'm probably the most proud of in all the funny adventures I've had over the years.
That was part one of our interview with Renaissance man Ben Lyons. Tune in next Monday for part two.